Okay, so back to my side game project. So the game I'm doing is a Jackbox style game. I have here a harness which shows all of the clients along with the presenter view. So the way that these games are played is a person will share this part of the view on a streaming service or something, or in a on a TV in a room, and then people connect with their phones. And so I have here different aspect ratios, so I can be testing out the visuals of the game all in one. And this harness allows me to, without having to set up a server, I can start a game, I can join with multiple players, and then start the game. So this is a word finding game where the object of the game is to connect words from basically connect your team from one side of the grid to the other. And so yellow is moving this way, purple is moving the other way. Players can create words anywhere they want in the grid. So like if I'm yellow here and I just say do the word drop, I can submit a word here and it shows up, and then the other players, if they're looking around the grid, they can see what's going on too, and then they can enter their own words like let's see, I don't know, boring, but anyway. So you see the purple letter showing up here, and so if the purples connect all the way through, then purple wins. If the yellows connect all the way across, yellow wins. So I did a play test of this over the weekend, and this revealed some problems with the game. So I made a list of stuff that needs to be fixed, and I did a few little things already, and now I'm into the more programming related stuff. So I thought I would stream this work. So today we're just going to go through these list of little things we found during playtesting and fix them in the code. All right, so excuse me. Okay, so first thing is when there is an error joining the room, there's text that's too small to be read. Now, I gotta remember if this was on the presenter or the other one, but I can look on both. So basically, sometimes there's an error whenever the clients, I think, are trying to join, and the way that I show the error, it's not very useful. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fake the error on the client. So here on the client, I think the best way to search for where I'm doing this is just search for the text, search where I'm doing red, because that's usually what I'm doing to specify the color. Yes. Let's see what's going over here. What I'm looking for is where I'm displaying some error text from a model. Yeah, this is one of the fun things. If you can't repro it very easily, you've got to have a good way to find out where in the code this problem is happening. So I know I expose on the models if something is going wrong, some error text. So let's look at the client model and see if I expose any error message here. If it's not on the model itself, it's going to be on the base model. So there's current answer, yeah, join error. This is the one we want. So let's find all the references. Oh, it's all over the place. Oh, that's because this is part of my template. So let's just start on Lexible and let's fix it here. And then, yeah. So if the client state has a join error, then we show this, and it was too small. So let's put one of the clients. Let's start out the. Let's put one of the clients in the, or let's just return this. I know that's what we'll do. Right now, because we're playing the game, that we're already in a playing state. Let's just do this and comment out this code and see how it looks. Didn't like it because I have this import that I now need to copy and comment out. Oh, and then, yeah, I'm not sure that this is the one actually, but let's just make sure it looks good. Could not join the game because, yeah, and that's gonna be big enough. We can make that a little bit bigger. We can do something here, just say style equals font size like 200%. Let's see what that is. Yeah, let's make it a little smaller, and let's make it red. Color red. Could not. Oh boy, that looks horrible on the purple. And fine, let's do a darker red. So we'll just go maybe like AA00. Actually, we can just go A00. That is that's looking even worse. Okay, fine. This really sucks. This is going to look awful. Let's just do background red, and we'll just make the color white or yellow. Looks horrid, but right now I'm not trying to make the game look awesome. I'm just trying to communicate this error and make sure it's well understood. I'll skin it later. Okay, that looks fine. So let's put that back here. So if we do show an error, it'll look nice and clear, and then we'll put this code back. But I do remember that it was on the presenter. Now we gotta put this other part back. It's on the presenter. So let's take a look at the presenter model and see what is available there. So the presenter has something down here. And it doesn't appear to be showing any errors there. And let's see what game states we have. Paused, gathering. Oh, I wonder if that was it. Let's see what this looks like. Sometimes a trick, this is a trick I use to get past, like if I'm commenting out code, it will complain that there's some includes that aren't needed anymore, and that's always a pain. So I do this trick. I just say if date.now is greater than 0. So that's always true, but the compiler won't complain that there's unreachable code below. Like if I just put a return here, the compiler will complain. So now I can return this and just see what it looks like for the presenter. Let's see. Refresh. Yeah, that's not what we wanted. There is an error being displayed somewhere here. I suspect it's in the lobby code. Oh, I can't remember how I generated that error either. The note I took was not very clear. I just remember seeing it during the thing. So let's find the lobby. There's a lobby main page. Let's find red here. Is it in here? No, but maybe it is. There's a red in the CSS for the lobby. Do I have some CS in here? No. Okay, well, let's just see what I get. So it comes in here. It's just returning the provider, and then the instantiated game, in this case the inner child. Yeah, error. This is, yeah, I'm pretty sure this is what's happening. So if we have an exception here, so let's just do that. Throw error. This is an error. This should definitely reproduce what I'm worried about. Is it going to complain? Yes. So I'm going to have to do my trick. If date.now is greater than 0, then 0. Fine. Refresh. Okay. Still not sure if that is the one that I want, but it's definitely, that doesn't look very good. So let's just make it look better. So I'll just say there was an error, and we're going to go it's kind of interesting how it showed up red. I'm not sure how that was, how I'm getting it to be red. Inner child. Huh. How did it come up as red? That's weird. It's not, let's use the inspector. Look at that guy. So it thinks its background is red. But I don't know how it's, oh, maybe the lobby is just setting its own background to red somewhere. It's weird that, oh, there it is, yeah. So I set the background to red. Oh, I know why I do that. I do that as a, this is a turd I left behind. I use red as sometimes to like, as an initial color for whenever I'm laying things out, and then I never cleaned it up. So that's probably why this is as a red background. Rather than going finding out where I did this, I think I'll just fix this piece of code so that it's styled. And I'm too lazy to put it in CSS, so I'm just going to put it here. So the background, I think, yeah, just do background is white. Font size is, let's do 30 pixels. See what happens. There was an error. Fantastic. And it shows for everybody. All right. I'm still not convinced that this is the place that I saw the error, but at least it looks a little bit better. Definitely easier to see than it was before. So now I'll stop throwing here. Yeah, I wonder how I got that error in there. Well, next time I'll know at least to not, I'll know at least to put clear text as to what happened. Fine. So that's not what I want. This is what I want. Okay, I think I handled that. Make error text bigger on flexible. Okay. All right. So I don't know if you could tell, but some of these words, I'm playing around having the Google text-to-speech read the words as they come out, because I think it's kind of fun to hear the words. And for fun, I had one of the word readers be in French. So let's see if you can hear it. Oh, that did not work very well.
That.
Yeah, so I don't know if you heard that, but that was the computer speaking French. Doesn't sound very clear. So I'm going to play around with some different accents. So So there is a web page that I had found earlier that let you play with these words. So I think I left it down here. Yes. This one guy. Yeah, this is it. So this one guy created this speech demo, and this is where I got the example of how to do the code. And what's nice about this is you can just change the voice. And so I was using this Google French accent one. So this is a test of text-to-speech. Let's hear what it sounds like.
This is a test of text-to-speech.
It sounds nice. It sounds French, but you really can't understand the words very well. And some of the words, I wish I could. Some of them were definitely pronounced in a French way, so it like cut off the like some S's and things. So I just wanted to find maybe a different English one that sounded kind of fun. Let's see what this sounds like.
This is a test of text-to-speech.
Maybe. That's UK English.
This is a test of text-to-speech.
I kind of like that one because it's more classical computery text-to-speech, and maybe it'll sound funny with that one there. I want a female voice for this one, so we have a contrast of male and female in the teams. German, what does that sound like?
This is a test of text-to-speech.
That's pretty funny. I'm sad to not have the French one there, but it was really hard. People were complaining that they couldn't understand it. It doesn't look like we have a lot of choices here. Oh. Alright, I think I'm going to do this Microsoft Zero. So, well, the way we fix that here is we want to search for this Google Fran. Google Fran. What? What do you mean? Definitely in there somewhere. Okay, well, fine. Then it's going to be in the Lexible presenter somewhere. We set that language. Yeah, see right there. Why didn't I find that? Control-Shift-F, because I'm searching for the whole word only. There we go. All right, we're going to change this then to Microsoft Zero. And I'm going to comment this out just because I like to remember that I had this language before. We'll play with this, but maybe we'll change it back. I like the French one. Microsoft Zero. English United States. All right, let's see if this one works. So by the way, the speech API, this is how I set up the speech API. I use a helper class that I created. Language from team and in this speech helper here. So it's a very simple API helper. The first thing it does is it loads up a list of voices, and this happens as soon as a game loads. It's done. It's done asynchronously. So like if I don't have voices, I set a timeout here, and I just keep running it until I get voices, or I try too many times. No, it just keeps on trying. Okay, and then in the speech helper, I call it load voices there, and then I just call speak, give it some text, say which voice I want, and then it does all. This is the standard web API for doing text to speech. Super simple. I was really happy with this. You can even hook events so you can know when the sentence is done. So you can change the rate and pitch and stuff. So potentially you should be able to make a voice sing a song. Haven't tried that yet, but it would be pretty hilarious to work that into the game somehow. All right, let's see if that worked. So back to lexible. So now if I try to spell things where it used to be French, let's see, city.
City.
Sounds like city. Well, anyway, I'll just leave it there. I don't want to mess around with it too much. Okay, that's a minor fix. So we'll come here and just say, trying out a new team A voice. Check. All right. So this is tweaking the UI to look better. So I'm a terrible, I'm terrible at making UIs look fantastic. I like coding the stuff underneath the UI, but I always need help getting someone else to get other people to do the layout and design. And as you can see in this UI, it looks horrid, I admit. But something that I always try to do is I just try to do little tweaks just so that the game looks different every now and then. So like, just as I go along, I try to just tweak it. So some things I'm noticing here that could be better is this giant screen here, this block of letters is a little off-centered. So I want to center the presenter block field. I'm going to do that. I want to yeah, I have that later. Okay, so this team A, team B stuff, I feel like this background color looks, I don't know what I want to do here. The slider I definitely want to change. I think I'm going to lighten up this gray background a little bit and give it a border so it stands out more from here, so you know it's a real control. And I don't know, we'll play with the slider. And I'm okay with how these letters look now with the little badges over them. That's all right to me. And I don't know. Those are the things that were bothering me. I really want someone else to come in and just do a general treatment of it so that I have some direction to go. But let's just do those two little things. It's pretty simple. So the presenter block field, let's inspect and see what it says about these guys. So I'm drawing these guys. They're inside this play column. So I think that's where we're gonna change our CSS. So presenter module here. Let's find play column. There you are. Let's just play around with this and say display flex and see what happens. Nothing. Align items center. That's okay. And then justify content center. Boom. Okay, that's what we wanted. So it's centered in every way. So that looks slightly nicer. So I'll keep that as is. Next, oh, you know what? This is probably too wide as well. See how this purple kind of flows off the edge, but there's a little space here. Is that because there's more room? Oh, yeah, I think there's a little. Yeah, that might not be a problem. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna leave it for now. I'm not sure it's there. I'm not sure that's a real issue. I have a feel like, oh yeah, it's not. So I just scroll over to the side and you can see there's a little space here. It's just how I'm displaying this setup grid. Okay, let's clean up the slider a little bit. I think I want to round the corners a tad on the slider, and I know if there's designers out there watching, you're probably just screaming at me, but I just like to do a little. Just let me do a little. And I want to lighten up this gray. So let's see where we're looking here. So I use our little tool to figure out where this control is. And so I am looking at the slider, which is underneath the game component. The slider is styled itself as what? I can't tell from there very easily, so let's find out. No, I don't want you over there. To there, control find slider. Where is the slider? It's not there because it's in the client game component. Slider. Okay. So the slider is inside this div, which is the game component, but there's other things inside there. But the slider itself has a style. All right. Yeah, let's just change the whole style here. So down the bottom, we're going to have .game client .letter slider. And then we'll set the class name here. Do slider. Hopefully I overrode class name. Yes. Class name is styles.letter slider. Okay, and so letter slider has a background. Let's copy what I've got for now. Background, gray, width. I think I'm just going to leave the width in there because it's not really controlled by CSS. And for fun, let's just change this to red so I know it's working. It's not. So Y, class name, letter slider. So let's go to the slider control and figure out why this control is not using its style or its class name property. So this is a control I made, by the way. So yeah, class name is the slider control plus whatever class name we got on the props. That's interesting that did not work. That should have worked. So let's go here and let's see what's happening. So the class is slider control, and we did get letter slider, and we're part of game component, and we should be down from game client. So yes, it does think that it is applying this class name, letter slider, to this touchable control. And is there, like, do we see a background here? Background on this one is some RGB. It's like the color of the other background, but we don't actually set it. Rah, what's wrong with you? Let's try setting a border here. Oh, this is my problem. Capital C. That's my problem. There it goes. Okay, now we don't want a red. We wanted a kind of a lighter gray. So let's just play with the gray here and let's see how they look. So that's too dark. Let's try a super light gray. That feels too light. I might also do an inner shadow to give it the sense that this is something over the top of it. Okay, now let's round the corners a little bit. Radius, border radius, let's do like a 10 pixels. Really? Okay, that makes sense. Maybe not so much. Let's do like 30 pixels, just a tiny rounding there. All right, now let's do a inner Let's do, I can't remember in CSS how to do this. Inner shadow. Inner shadow in CSS. Hooray. Box shadow. Horizontal offset. But I want inner. Text shadow. Here we go. Inset. This is what we want. Let's try that one. So, box shadow inset. Let's go 10 pixels. 10 pixels. 10 pixels. Nothing. And let's see how that looks. Just put that over here for now so we can see it. All right. So if we save that and we look here, nothing. Let's do, just make it bigger. Sometimes if you make it bigger, no? Okay, why are you not working? Box shadow inset. 3 pixel values and then color. Let's try making that other number bigger. Why are you not working, Mr. Oh, I know why. Because what happens is if you make a mistake in your CSS, it won't automatically refresh later. You have to refresh the whole page. Okay, now it looks horrible, but we're getting there. So this, what does this control? This controls X and Y. So I'm not going to inset it at all. I'm just going to do 0 pixels. Okay, now interestingly, it does not cover the letters. I think I was hoping to cover the letters with a shadow. We can do this. If we make a new overlay, I'm not really interested in, fine, I'm feeling so lazy, but I don't want to do that. But I think this is about what I want, but I want the letters to be shadowed. So it's kind of like you're underneath this box. So let's play with this. The way we're going to do this is we're going to put another element right over the slider. It's going to be an overlay. So we're going to have another thing here called game client dot slider overlay. Okay, and it's going to have the box shadow and the border radius the same. No box shadow for you. Okay, so let's put it in there. So in the game component, we have this slider here. And so what we need to do is put it inside a div. Have the slider be here. And then we have another div here that is a class name slider, styles dot slider overlay. No, there we go. So now for this overlay, okay, all right, it is, what? Oh. Okay, and it is going to need to be the same size as the other one. So looking here, so slider overlay, let's just do really quickly. Width is 100, or let's do 500 pixels. And height is 500 pixels. This will be wrong, but at least tell us that it's there. Okay, that's what we want. We want it overlaid, but we want the position to be absolute. Okay, and that means we want the parent of this guy to be, we need to set the parent. And so we need to set position relative to the div that's on top of it. So this one we say style equals position relative. So now when we do that, no, okay, this always trips me up, figuring out how to get this up here, but we'll figure it out. I'll just ask the internet. Flex overlay. Overlay, hover, let's see, add an overlay div. So you want to do the position. I guess we can just try setting the top and the left really quick. So position is absolute. Top is 0 pixels, left is 0 pixels. Let's see how that looks. Yes, okay, we were doing it right. I didn't set the top and the left. Width, let's try, no, width. 100%, what do we get when we do 100%? Yes, yes, that's your parent. That's what we want. All right, now see how it, oh no. Okay, now we need to make it transparent to mouse clicks. CSS make div transparent to mouse clicks. Pointer events none in CSS. Pointer events none. Okay, back to here. Can we? Yes. All right, so now I think this looks nicer. It's like you've got this nice little thing there. Okay, now all we need is a little bit of a border. So I think on the letter slider, we're gonna say,
you
hi.
You left your phone in the bathroom.
Thanks.
Welcome.
So we're gonna say border 5 pixels solid black. That's gonna look horrible, but let's just do it. That's not too bad. Let's do solid. Something transparent, but that way it kind of, this mixes the colors a little better. So really quickly, let me just drag that over just to see how it's going to look big. That's kind of nice. I might try making it even a little bit bigger. Let's do 15 just to see how that starts to look. A little too fat. And there's a way to make the border straddle the actual edge, which is what I want here. So let's go CSS, border center. Let's see. Center on edge. Yes. This is what we want. So what did they do here? The border, left, right, height, width. there was an easier way to do this. Alright, I'm not going to mess around with it too much because it was looking pretty good already. I think I am going to lighten this up more. Less distinct. Yeah, and then shrink this down maybe 10 pixels. Yeah, I think that looks nice. So now it really looks like you have some kind of a window. Let's try to increase the size of this shadow, this inset shadow, to be like 80. So it's a little bit bigger, so it feels a little more dramatic. Like that. Click. Yeah, I think that looks nicer. So, alright. So we tweak this thing to look a little bit more like a thing you can touch. I like it. And then we did centered it here. So this is a nice little tweak. I'm happy with it. So let's come back here to the to-do and let's mark it tweaked. Come here and just say added some shading to client UI. Centered presenter grid, and then we'll put this under lexible. There. Okay. Next. If you click more than 2 letters away from your word, you should start a new word. Okay, so something I noticed in the play testing is, so let's say you're here. If you want to start a new word, if you can't click letters over here because they're not adjacent to these letters, so that they're not legal moves. What I would like to do is and so if you want to start doing a word over here, you actually have to stop doing the word and then you can start doing the word here. I want to change that dynamic so that if I have a letter here and I'm like over on this other part of the grid, I don't have to figure out what to do. I can just click here and it'll automatically start the new word. So how are we going to do that? On the client, we have in the client, the logic of the game is handled inside the model. So if we look inside the client model, when we click on a letter, this is where we decide to, like right here in this block handler, this is where we decide what to do. All right, so we need to know if a block is clickable. Can select, this is the question. So we know the last letter in the chain. And this is asking if we're able to select a letter. So what we want to do is we want to say yes if the letter is far away to allow it. All right, so let's do that first step. So if the letter chain is greater than 0, we find the previous block. Okay. If it's an adjacent block, obviously we can select it. Otherwise, we'll get the distance. So we have these two vector 2's. So let's add a feature to the vector 2 that'll let us calculate distance. So yep. So we're going to say the delta vector is equal to so we have a block and a previous block is previous block dot coordinates dot minus block dot coordinates. Okay, so now we need a minus function because we can't override operators in TypeScript, so we need a minus function, which we could. Okay, so let's go to the definition and vector2 here, and we're just going to say minus vector or subtract me, which is a vector2, and we're going to say return new vector2. The x is this dot x minus subtract me dot x, and this dot y minus subtract me dot y. Okay, so that's our minus. And since I know I'm going to need these, I might as well just do add add me, and why doesn't it like add? Oh, I already had done it. That's clever. So let's just then return the length. The length of this vector is equal to math.square root this dot x times this dot x plus this dot y times this dot y. There's probably already some vector class that does this, but I don't feel like, I'm so lazy, I don't even feel like looking it up. I'd rather just do this. Why are you not happy? Because you can't do a new math square root, you just do math.square root. Okay, now we have add, I should really change this to subtract. If we're going to do it right. Back to the client, get a delta vector n. If the delta vector dot length you know what I think I should do? I don't even think I need to do this length thing. I think I should just say if it's always selectable, but if it can't, I'll still have this can select like being, and I'll just rename it. It either can chain or not. If it can't chain, it'll just erase what it's got. On selected. So let's change this. So go to definition. We don't want to call this can select. We want to call this is select part. Well, let's see. We don't even need can select anymore. We don't need it. We just, so it will always select. It will always select it. But we're going to come back here and we're going to change this. So we're going to keep this function can select because it's useful. And we're going to call this const adjacent. Let's do is adjacent. So we're going to take a block. That's this letter block model. And to avoid confusion here, let's change the name of this block F2 to be test block. go. Okay, so is adjacent. We don't need that. Oops, what's this? Maybe must be the first block in the chain or adjacent to the last block. Okay, so if it is it, return false. Return false. Otherwise, return true. Okay, so this is our adjacent test, which before we were only allowing selecting blocks next door. Now, if it's not an allowed block, it will just clear all the blocks. So here, if it is selected, we do some there's some stuff we do here. Else, if is adjacent, the index, oh wait. I am confused. If, oh yeah. If we're selecting the block, okay, I need to back up. I'm gonna make sure I got my logic right. So this is selected as saying on the selected. This really should be on selected change. Let's fix this. This is confusing. Anytime I see something confusing me in my own code, I change the name. So this should be on selected changed. Yes. And on selected changed. So block select handler. Let's go to this guy, and the block select handler is selected value. That's what we should have called it here. So F2 selected value. Names are important. So on selected change, haha. If selected value, so if it's selected, if it's the first in the letter chain, we just mark it as true, and we push the block onto the chain. So we are selecting the block. This is okay. This is more complicated because before the can select was telling us whether or not. Okay, so this is telling us whether or not we could select the block. So let's check this logic and make sure it's correct, or just understand what it's doing. So if there is a letter chain, if there's not a letter chain, for sure we can select it. If there is a letter chain, then we want to say, well, what's the previous block on the chain? If the X is too big or the Y is too big, so if we're too far away from the block, it's not adjacent. Okay, so at this point, this is truly just is adjacent. So now we're coming down in here, and now we're changing the select on a block. So the user has clicked on a block, they've either selected it or not. So if they've selected it, we need to decide if we want to clear the chain. So if is adjacent, okay, okay. If there's nothing in the letter chain, then we just mark it and push it. Else, let's get the previous block like we were doing here. Oh, we don't have to ask that. We just have to ask. We don't even need this. That's why. That's why that could be nothing. Is adjacent. We know the block. We know the previous block. Yeah, so ta-da. Okay. So else if it's not adjacent. So we're turning on a selection. If it's not adjacent, we should call this one is adjacent. Let's call this is next letter. Let's call that one. That's a clearer one. So if it's not the next letter, then we want to clear it. All right, let's do this. Let's make another function here called const delete blocks from index. Let's go to some index number. Okay, because I'm gonna reuse this code. So if index is greater than 0, then I'm gonna say delete blocks from index, which we could probably just do all the time anyway, and just put this code inside of it, like that. So if there's an index, we're gonna splice, and we need to have a player ID, comma, player ID string. Do. Okay, so here, and delete blocks from index, comma, player ID. Great. Same thing here, except we know that the index is 0. So if it's not the next letter, we're just going to wipe it out, and then we're going to push this block on. Otherwise, we're unselecting the block, and we're just going to wipe it out from the block that got unselected, and then we'll send an action. Okay. I almost lost myself in all that, so I don't expect any of you out there to be following it exactly. Sorry, that was kind of a weird bit. Can select. We do not need this. Boom, excellent. Okay, let's see what happens. So now, if I come over here and I want to, let's go over here. HART, it's kind of a deer. Submit.
Heart.
What
heart,
the crap?
Heart.
All right, fine. Quit.
Heart.
Clear out.
Heart.
What the heck happened? I'm hoping that was just a state weirdness. Do. Okay, please don't do that again. Okay, MINT, go.
Mint.
Okay, that's better. All right, so if I start going over here and I say, start doing letters, and then if I go over here, T, yes, excellent. That's exactly what I want. Do. Nope, over here. Nope, over here. Okay, I like it. This is good. This definitely feels better and like a more responsive interface. You just want to eliminate, my feeling is you want to eliminate clicks as much as possible because it's a pain to have to manipulate the interface. Just have it, if you can guess what the user is doing, then just do that. Okay, that feels good. All right, I made a bunch of code changes. Let's see if I left any turds anywhere. Where's the to-do? To-do flexible. All right, if I click more than start a new word, yep, done. So, changes, what changed here? Vector 2 changed, looks good. We never use these, so strictly I shouldn't add them, but I know eventually we'll probably want these on Vector 2, so I'm just going to keep it. Can select got removed. Okay, then we change the block handlers to do this kind of stuff. That looks better. That got removed, and then of course we don't do the can select anymore. And yep, that looks good. So flexible, allow fresh selection when the letters don't connect. Sounds good. All right, back to the to-do. All right, so all right. So what I would like to do now is, there's a problem here. I want to allow people to join the game whenever, because when we were playtesting, it's hard to get everybody to pay attention in the lobby, and I like to have the game be pretty forgiving, just allow people to jump in the middle of the game. That seems like a friendly way to do games. I mean, we can probably have a setting that says don't allow late joins, but let me show you what I mean here. So we have 2 people join. Click here to start. Now the game's going. So if this guy joins, I want them to join how it works. Why did this did not work when we were playing? So let's do a win.
The feeling of victory is delicious, no?
And then we'll play again. And I have a feeling that now it won't be able to join. No. Works from here. Okay, this is curious because it was not working. I'm going to have to playtest this a little more to figure out why the late connections are not allowed. That's kind of weird. Okay, so I'm just going to put this higher up in the to-do, so I'll work on it later. Okay, fine. Okay, next problem. This will be an easy fix. So we have these hints down here. And one problem with the hints is you can see there are duplicate words in the hint. Like Tollies is listed twice here. So I'm not preventing them from showing up in the hints. So this is easy to fix because the presenter is the one that generates the words. And so the presenter model, and there's a function down here called find words. Here we go. And so the output is a bunch of words. So if the word alt length is greater than 3, and we just have to add and not output dot find word. Oh, it wants this. Find w is equal to word. There we go. So not output. So now when we ask the server for lists of words, so we'll come back here and we'll select that T again. Ah, we got nothing that time. point for everybody. That's interesting that it didn't do it right. Forcible didn't work, but maybe that's because there's something weird going on with the state. I hope. Oh no, quit, clear all. Okay, so click to play. Come in here, let's type the P penances. Not doing it. Oh. Fine, that's easy. So this is the recursive method. Let's have output. Okay, fine. I'm just gonna have to redo the array. So we're gonna say const words is equal to find here. So that's going to be a bunch of words with duplicates. Then we're going to have const same out. We'll have an output here as well. We'll call this return me. And then we're going to say words dot for each word if not return me dot find why is it return me is an array? There should be dot find item is equal to W if it's not there. Let's make this code clearer. All right, so if it's not in the array, then we'll add it. So return me dot push W, and then we'll say return me. Oh, we want to sort. Oh, let's do return. Let's do return me dot sort. This guy. Boop. So I think does a sort. It sorts an array in place, and then we'll say return me. Boom. Okay, so I don't know if I necessarily need to put it not. We could put it in alphabetical order. Why not? I don't feel like it. I don't. Oh, whatever. Return. I think it's just this easy. Sort. Boom. Yeah. Oh no. I think we need to sort it alphabetically first, and then sort it like that. Okay. Maybe that'll work. This should work because we were this one was spoiling us, and this up here, and this seems just a little simpler. Okay, so if I go to do this again, that's interesting that it forgot enough state that it doesn't work. So let's clear the memory, and let's shrink this a bit, and bring them in, click the start. Oh, maybe you won't be able to read it. So if I come over here and I do like a D, do gears, I'm not seeing any repeats. try another one. D. Oh, interesting. Oh, I know what happened. I know what happened. Ha, found a bug. So back to the client. If we delete the blocks, we need to set is first again, because this is what that's what decides to send the message to get more stuff. That's why we weren't seeing letters. So if I come over here and I do this and I do D, now I can see it. Yeah, good. And I am not seeing any duplicates. Perfect. Okay, so that's done. So in the to do, mark that fixed, and the presenter model. So we just changed there to pull all the duplicates. And so we'll just do flexible remove duplicates from hint list. Get closer. Okay, next thing to do. All right, the hint. All right, now what we want the hint list to do is, as we type additional letters, we want to see fewer words in the hint list. So like if I type D, if I put an E here, I want to see this list drop, so it's just the DE words. Okay, so this should be pretty trivial. If it's what I think it is. So the client is the one displaying the available words. And the client is displaying them inside the game component. The game component here is doing the word list and mapping it here. So let's see how the app model gets the word list. Go to definition. So the word list is an actual string. So let's do this. Let's have it get word list. And then it's going to do some stuff here. But let's call this, let's rename this F2 word list. There we go. And this should be private. And now this word list is, so we want to know active word is that active word, let's have that be a getter. Get active word blah. So we have const output, or let's say let output equal empty string. This dot letter chain dot for each block. We want to say output plus output plus equals block dot letter dot uppercase blah, and then we'll just return output. Okay, so that's our active word. So we don't want to keep calculating it, so we're just going to say the active word. Let's see. Let's call this the prefix, is equal to this dot active word. Okay, and then we're going to say return word list dot filter the words where word dot index of the prefix is equal to 0. So it's at the beginning. Can I just do starts with? Yes, starts with the prefix. Let's just do that. So everything that starts with prefix, we're going to filter it, and then we're going to map it. Yeah, that will give us a full word list. Yep. Okay, that should work. So as I change the letters, oh, look at that. It didn't join. That's probably because I didn't play anything in the game. All right, fine. It doesn't like that. That. There we go. Quit, clear. Go here, start. Go. Okay. So if I type in S, I, yeah, C, and there's like Seist, E, and then L, nothing. Nice. And then take that off. Yes, Sict, not Seist. Sict. Okay, that's fantastic. It's making this game super easy to play. And the strategy here is, I don't mind that it's like, people who are boggle players will be like, these hints are like totally cheating. I agree, and I feel like for people who are serious boggle fans, I will probably leave an option in to turn off hinting. But I think for most people, boggle is a pain in the neck because you don't know what the words are. And what really this game is about is being clever about picking a path from left to right. And like, you can capture stuff. So like, we just bit over here. So the yellow can like come over here where this is going and can block this word if the yellow can capture. So let's start with the R. This is a nice long word, and it looks like we're going to capture that. We'll capture this S. So I can come over here and I can capture things as long as the word length I have is longer than the numbers that are on here. So I can capture this S as long as I get more than 6 letters. So Rosie, O, L, A, R, boom.
Rosola.
And so I captured this S now. And so if purple wants to capture like that stuff back, they've got to find an even longer word. And like none of these words, it shows the longest ones at the beginning. So now what you're doing is you're clicking around looking for a longer word. And that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's not going to cut it. So we want to do L here. So some people are going to say, take into account the number of letters. Eventually I'll probably add that hint, but right now, all right, so literators maybe will get us over there. So L-I-T-E-R, so we can still spell literators. Oh, but maybe that looks like it's wrong. L-I-T-E-R. I'm looking for an A, but there's an A. Oh, A-T-O-R-S. So
Literators.
there's 10s there, but we didn't capture that S back. Anyway, so that's the idea. It's like you're trying to capture things, and like the dynamic of the game is different if you have the hints. The hints are going to help you get there. Now I wanted to add a little bit of, as long as we're making a change in here in the client, in the game component, this is where we do the mapping. So what I wanted to do here is just add another div and then say words you can spell from here, like that, but only if, there we go. No, that's, no. Yeah, So I want there to be a little thing here that says words you can spell from here, but there's none. And here's, so this is like telling you what you can do. So nice. So if you go here, S, those are words you can spell. Excellent. Might be worth a little bit of a margin to make that come out. So style equals margin, I don't know, 20 pixels. Yeah, looks better. Okay. Excellent. All right, so back to the to-do. So we did this. And yeah, I think I'm going to add a little bit more. And while I'm on it, let's do some simple instructions for the words, and then this next, these other instructions are the presenter instructions, how to play the game. But these are on the client to help hint to the person what can be done. So what I want to do is if there's nothing selected, then I want to tell the client to tap on a letter to begin spelling. So let's go ahead and add that while we're still inside this code. And so we'll just put a ternary here, and we'll say app model dot letter chain. Why are you not recognizing that? Chain. Sheesh. Chain dot length is equal to 0. We'll do this. Otherwise, we'll show this other stuff. And that should just be some big div. And we'll put this inside of it. Boom. And here, we will put a div that just says tap on any letter to begin spelling a word. This time to capture. Anyway, let's see what this looks like. So if I get rid of this, yeah, tap on any letter to begin spelling the word, but it's not inside. There's no margin inside that. Fine. So let's put this inside something that has the margin. Div, and we'll put it here and decide what to show. And here we're gonna just move this class name up to the hint list up here. Come on. Let's try refreshing. Shoot. All right, let's put that back here because that messed up our formatting, and we'll just say style, put a margin of like 20 pixels, and then I'll just get rid of this guy's margin. Oh, but I do want this margin. Let's do this. Margin bottom, 20 pixels. Refresh. That doesn't seem right. Clear. Start. Do. Play. I feel like that needs to be just bigger. Style equals margin bigger margin. Let's do it even bigger. And then 60, and then let's do a text align center. And I will say this many times, I'm terrible at making it look pretty, so I apologize for any ugliness here. Tap on any letter, and I kind of feel like that should be a bigger font. Font size is, let's do 120%. Maybe a little bigger, 130%. Go here, 140%. There we go. Tap on any letter to begin spelling a word, and then we tap, boom, and now we have words we can spell from here. T-R-A. Where's the I? Oh, it's going to be a different A. Yeah, I think that's fine to like make people kind of solve a maze here. Trailers. Rather than telling them exactly where all the letters are. I think that works. Okay, that's nice. So we got some instructions, and so now people know what to do. So let's look at our changes. We did the simple client instructions. Save. And then we just added some instructions here and checked. What did I do there? Oh, I changed the name. Okay, fine. So lexible, added simple. Oh. Pared down word list as client types. Add simple client instructions. There we go. I think that's all I'm going to do for today. It's about my quitting time for trying to start my day job. So hope you had fun watching that. Hope it was useful, and I'll see you around. Bye.